I'm Ben Gonzalez, and this is TDI. Well, today we're talking about water damage inside your home, and we always want to remind you that rising water from a flood outside is not going to be covered by most home insurance. But what about water that comes from inside the house? Well, joining us to help understand those differences is Gammy Martinez from TDI's Property and Casualty section. Hello, Gammy.
Hey, Ben, how's it going?
Going all right, sir. Well, why is it important for homeowners to try to understand the water coverage in their home insurance policy? Are they not all the same?
No, they can differ policy to policy. So it's always best to know how your policy is going to cover water damage, what's not going to be covered, because there are instances where, yeah, you think you do have coverage and you go to file your claim and turns out that what you thought wasn't actually what the policy provided.
Yeah, do most home insurance policies cover water and mold damage?
Most do, but it's always beneficial to read your policy, talk to your company, talk to your agent, find out if there are limitations, if there's an endorsement that you can purchase that might be able to provide more coverage. So it's always best to talk to the company, and always we encourage you to read your policy.
Yeah, and we definitely say you can ask questions all the time, so go ahead and talk to your agent or company. Now, a lot of Texans had pipes burst due to the freezing weather last winter. Does insurance pay for that kind of damage?
Most policies, again, they will. The key kind of term there is sudden and accidental, and we usually consider that from the insurance perspective. So losses that are out of the insurance control that wouldn't or couldn't be prevented or predicted. So yeah, right. Burst pipe is a very common example of that, and you just have to be kind of prepared as to knowing what your policy, what it says, and how that damage will be covered.
Right, and I guess it doesn't always have to be a frozen pipe. We've heard of also of things like hoses on appliances can fail, and you end up with water on the floor.
Exactly, shower drains, any kind of definitely be a potential water claim.
What about flooding from something like a backed up sewer line? Is that covered by your homeowner's insurance?
It can be. Again, I'm gonna keep repeating it.
Read that policy.
Policy, yes, sir. Because there could be an exclusion for that, but we always say again, talk to your agent, talk to your company, ask those questions, have that conversation, and just if there's something that you're unsure of about what the policy says, have them point it out to you. What part of the policy will address that, and just make sure that you have a pretty clear understanding of how your policy will respond in the event that you do have some water damage.
Okay. What about for our viewers that are renting their home? Do they need to be concerned about water damage as well?
Definitely. You have stuff, your furniture, your clothes, that can all be damaged, whether you're renting an apartment or a home. And the property owner's policy will not cover your stuff. So you definitely want to continue this policy to make sure that you have protection for your items.
What about any steps that we can take to prevent or minimize water damage for our things?
Right. So good question. All policies, they'll want you to
take reasonable action.
Reasonable preventative measures to keep your damaged property from further damage. So that could be, putting a tarp on a roof if you can do that, boarding up a window. If there is a water break, maybe just cutting off the water line so that water just doesn't continue to run. So things like that are within a reasonable activities that you can just do to kind of help slow down, prevent further damage. That's going to be something that the policy or that the company's going to want you to do.
Right. We've been talking kind of about homeowners and renters insurance, but before we let you go, we should probably touch on flood insurance. Would having flood policy help with the kinds of events that we've discussed today?
Not those examples. Flood policy will only cover for flood damage. So things that happen inside the home, a flood policy is not going to cover that. So that's something that you may also want to just look into purchasing for your property.
Yeah, we recommend that for everyone out there. If it rains, it can flood. Does everybody need flood insurance? Do you have to be in a flood zone in order to get coverage?
Everyone could benefit from it. I mean, unless you live on the second or third floors of an apartment, like you said, any property could flood. So you don't have to be in a flood zone to purchase a flood policy. But a good resource is the National Flood Insurance Program, the NFIP. That's a good resource for you to look into. But no, you don't have to be in a flood zone. But if you are in one, that might be a greater risk for you. So you may want to look into that a little further. And yes, anyone that has a home that has property that could be flooded, a flood policy could definitely be beneficial for you.
Yeah, so you need that separate flood policy for water that's outside, and then maybe your homeowners covers you for what's inside. Well, thanks for doing this today, Gammy. We've got a lot more information about home and flood insurance on our website. It's tdi.texas.gov. And if you've got a specific question that you can't find an answer to, you can always call our helpline. That's 800-252-3439. So for Gammy Martinez, I'm Ben Gonzalez. This is TDI.